What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to my review of the G933 Artemis Spectrum headphones. Now, take everything you've ever wanted in a normal pair of headphones, take everything you've ever wanted inside of your maybe future gaming headphones, and then shove it into one package. That's basically what you get with the Artemis Spectrum. They basically saw what are the most important things that people who watch TV, everyone, people who game, everyone, and people who have a normal desktop computer need on a daily basis, and they shoved it into this one thing. This headphone contains some very useful features like, excellent sound quality, but it also has something really epic known as Dolby 7.1 surround sound. It has its own software that allows you to customize its own LEDs that are built directly into the headphones in case you're a show-off type. Oh, too many people yelling downstairs and distracting you from your gameplay? Well, guess what? This thing got noise isolation as well. Playing for 6 hours long? Don't worry, this thing's comfortable. You'll be able to use it for 8 hours long. Heck, that's as long as I used it the longest, but I'm pretty sure you'll probably be able to go 12 hours without it being straining your ears or anything along those lines. One reason is because of the foam that this is made out of. Now, the foam is, well, squishy, but at the same time, it goes all the way around your ear. None of it actually touches your ear, so it sort of rests around your ear. It's on your headphones, and that way, like most gaming headphones, you can wear it for long hours. And finally, does your friend call you too much while you're in the middle of gaming or watching a movie or whatever you're doing? Well, guess what? It has a built-in mic as well. So maybe you're on Skype all of a sudden and you need your mic. Simply flip it out, the mic automatically turns on, connects to your PC, and you are pretty much set to go. You officially have a microphone, noise cancellation, comfort, excellent Dolby sound quality, and a pretty solid pair of gaming headphones, to list some of the features. Now, do all the features actually add up, and do all of them actually contribute to better gameplay? Well, that's what I decided to figure out. So the most important thing on a pair of headphones is how long will they last, and build quality is super important because, well, it's headphones. They get tossed around, they get sat on, they get chucked around, your friend uses them, you spill something on them. How long will they last? Well, first of all, let's just put it to the side and tell you guys that this thing does have a 2-year warranty on it, so if you do smash it or break it, you're pretty much set to go. The majority of this is made out of plastic. The buttons are plastic, some of it has this glossy touch feeling over it, and I already noticed that this is a downside since it can easily get scratched. But the top section of it is made out of your traditional plastic that isn't glossy or anything along those lines. The foam pads, there is one cool foam pad that's really thick at the top where your head will rest, and of course 2 giant foam pads that will be on your right ear and of course your left ear. So another cool thing that comes to design is that the right and left sides pop out, and when you actually pop out the left side, you get your little wireless dongle. So say you're going to be carrying this downstairs, upstairs, and your brother uses them, so on and so forth, and you are afraid you're going to lose the little wireless dongle. Well, you could just take it, place it into this cool little section, put the little thing back on, which is magnetic, you are set to go. On the other side is of course the battery. Now this leads us to a pretty important factor. They're wireless headphones. Yes, they work with an aux cable, but majority, if you want the full experience, if you want to use the mic to its full potential, if you want to use Dolby, and if you want to use the LED lights this thing comes with, you're going to have to use the wireless system. Now the wireless system lasts about, I'd say, 8 hours at most, because that's when my pair of headphones died. I think it was 7 hours and 30 minutes. I went on a full-on gaming / YouTube video / Walking Dead spree, and it was amazing, but then it did cut off eventually, and that part is a pain. However, here's a fun part. You can use the wireless feature on this with it plugged into its giant micro USB cable that it comes with. So in case your battery does die, no need to worry, just plug it into a micro USB adapter and you guys should be set to go. So now another important thing, how big is the range? Now indoor range is kind of tough to measure, so I decided to bring it into our basement, and it goes all the way around our basement, which goes about 15 feet one way, 15 feet that way, to the right, to the left, so on and so forth. There's basically no disconnection. Heck, I think I was able to go all the way downstairs, all the way to upstairs, and there was no distortion. So if your wireless dongle is in one room and for some reason you need to hop to that room for a second, it's not going to disconnect. I bet its range is a little bit higher, more than 15 meters, but that's as much as I could figure out. So here's another cool thing. Say you are using no lights, then this will affect your battery life as well. So you're using your wireless headphones and you decide to not use the LED system, and to tell the truth, the LED system looks cool if you're trying to show it off to friends, but it's really pointless when it comes to gameplay, unless you mod it to like match your gameplay somehow. Most of all because you cannot see the lights when they're on your head because they face the other way. So in that sense, it kind of is a better idea for you to just shut that whole thing off and make sure that this thing works as long as possible. Now here's the cool thing. When I did turn off the lights, which I always kept them off, then you were able to get them to approximately 12 hours. And in that case, I was able to get it to one 4-hour interval, then I took a break, another 4-hour interval, and then it was nighttime. The next day, it lasted for another 4 to 5 hours. That's a pretty long time, so suggestion, as I just said, keep the lights off should you choose to get these headphones. The last thing about the build quality is of course the hidden features. For example, the microphone perfectly popping out, the right and left sockets perfectly popping out, the little magnets on the inside. It just adds to the overall aesthetic feel of these headphones. So there's one last thing that we have to talk about, and it's the buttons on the headphones. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons that you can customize to your will. You can make them play or pause music, you can make them close the window you're looking at, you can even make them launch a particular game if you're creative enough. And there is the power button way at the top, which is simply a switch. You can turn this on or off and it will basically connect automatically. And finally, there's a cool little thing that allows you to control volume as well. So say you are connected wirelessly, simply scroll this thing up and the volume goes up, scroll it down and the volume goes down. Pretty awesome, right? All this directly on the headphones. And the most awesome thing about these headphones is sort of your leeway. You can sort of sit down in your chair, keep enjoying the movie. If your headphones plugged in, then you kind of have to move it, get an extension wire and all that. But with these, you could just go rest on your bed, keep watching the movie, no distractions, and you wouldn't even notice if people were yelling downstairs. So that's one of the things that I love about these. Now let's get to a really important section of the video: sound quality and how it impacts gameplay. So the audio quality, I told you guys that it's pretty superior, and the fact that you can tweak it to your will is the thing that makes it superior. So when I took these out of the box and I plugged them into, well, I didn't really plug them in, I connected them to my wireless dongle and of course the PC itself, I was like, this is $200, this audio is trash. Then I downloaded the Logitech software and went and turned on the Dolby effects and the equalizer and all that and messed around with the settings they have. They have a whole setting that says first person shooter, there's a setting that says cinematic, there's a setting that says things like movie, so on and so forth. We'll actually take a look at the software in just a second. But anyhow, after I turned that on, I was like, whoa, these headphones just improved by a mile. So if you are going to get these headphones, make sure you have the software. Now that does lead to a downside. If you're going to use these with, say, your TV or your Xbox or even on your phone, you might not get that full experience that you would get with the PC. So as you guys can see, they really are directing these towards the PC gamers. Can everyone else use them, and can the PC gamers use them on their other devices? Yes, but they're not exactly completely made for Xbox or completely made for PS4 like some other headphones are. Alright, so in order to fully describe sound quality, I do need to jump into the software. First of all, I'm going to wake up my device, click that little button. In fact, you can click anywhere on your headphones to wake it up. Alright, so you can take a look at your profiles, which means you can set different profiles based on what game you are playing. There's the default profile, which is the one that I'm always on, but Gary's Mod has its own, and the games that have their own will of course show up right here, so feel free to check that out. You can add profiles, you can save your own, and the profiles are basically your custom settings per game, per app, so on and so forth. Now what settings can you customize? Well, you can change these 3 buttons. As you can see, I have this set to play and pause my music. I have this set to launch my computer, which is actually a really handy way to jump into my file manager. And finally, this allows me to maximize the window, and I can go and change the colors to whatever I want. There's 3 different settings that they have default. There is breathing, which allows the colors to basically sort of fade in and out. There's color cycle, where the colors will change approximately every 1.5 seconds, and there's a solid color, so maybe your favorite color is pink, or maybe your whole setup's red. Then you may want to go with their solid color. You can actually make your own profiles, and you can actually delete certain profiles that they have. Don't delete the custom ones, you might want them later on, but if you make your own profiles and no longer want them, you could do that. Right now, remember I told you guys that the lights do end up using a lot of battery, so what I have it is the brightness is set really low, and then I basically have it so only the logo light is on, and then I have it flashing really fast, and it actually looks pretty cool. It's a cool way to save battery, but at the same time keep that cool Logitech look and be like, hey, I got these nice gaming headphones in case anyone does pop up. Okay, so then comes the really cool stuff, and this is where sound quality jumps in. As you guys can see, they have custom equalizers set up, and you can actually add your own. You can change the volume, you can change the side tones, the basses, the treble, and of course the advanced equalizer. I suggest you don't mess with that unless you actually are an audiophile and know exactly what you're doing. But if you don't want to mess around with those because you have absolutely no clue what you're doing, they do have a few custom setups. So there's FPS games, there's MOBA games, flat, drop the bass, I like the name on that one. Cinematic gaming, this one my favorite. I mean, it really does feel like the cinematic gaming one is just great for everything. Watching a YouTube video, great. Watching a movie, excellent. Gaming, perfect. And it's like you could tell when someone's coming up behind you and things along those lines, so that's what cinematic gaming is good for. Communications, this one also helps with Skype, but I found cinematic gaming to be better with Skype than this particular setup. Alright, so if you guys remember, I told you guys that when I first got these headphones, they sounded like absolute trash. Well, that's because I didn't have this thing turned on. So as you guys can see, this setup right here is decent, but it's not good. What you want to do is you want to flip this cool little switch, and all of a sudden Dolby plays a role and actually places the sounds in particular places. So maybe ahead of you, on top of you, so on and so forth. Alright, so I did go really in-depth into every single feature, sound quality and build quality wise, but now there are a few things that tick me off about these headphones. In fact, there's only 3, which is, for a pair of headphones, that's relatively good, especially at this price. They're only $200. That's cheaper than some Beats out there, and they sound better than Beats, I can promise you guys that right now. So, what exactly are the 3 things that tick me off? Well, you guys see that this thing, to save energy, or save its electricity and battery power, it basically turns itself off, and then you have to wake it up. Now, to wake it up, you actually have to press a button, and I find that really inconvenient. I sometimes start playing a video, and then I realize my headphones aren't turned on. That ticks me off. I have to click the button, the headphones have to reconnect, there goes 12 seconds, and 12 seconds is a pretty nice amount of time in my opinion. I don't want to lose that 12 seconds, so what I want is for Logitech to add in a feature in which basically as soon as these headphones move, as soon as I lift them up or something along those lines, maybe a low power sensor, all of a sudden they will turn on by themselves. So some type of movement sensor would be really convenient. Alright, another thing is the plastic on top. It just kills the look. Like, everything is nice and glossy on the side, and then the top is just normal, not glossy plastic. I feel like it would look a lot better if the top was made out of this glossy plastic as well. Also, the sides are made out of plastic, which kind of ticks me off because that's kind of the places where you place your hands to lift these, right? And you place kind of your nails there as well, so which means that this will lead to scratches in the long run. If you placed it on the top, most likely no one's ever going to touch the top of the headphones, and it'll look nice, and there won't be as many fingerprints, it's not going to get scratched up, and that's just an overall better idea. Minor perk, it's nothing that's going to take away from the overall experience of the headphones, but something I wanted to put out there. Now overall, I give the headphones a nice 9 out of 10. I know some other reviewers and critics have said that the audio quality when it comes to gaming just doesn't sound as good as other quality headphones, but I gotta give it to these guys. I've tried out some headphones that are, I don't know, $300, $400 when it comes to gaming headphones. They have their own little amplifiers and all that, and these sound almost as good as those, so I don't know what the whole thing is, since these only cost about $200. Now, compared to super high-end gaming headphones, yes, they don't sound good, to put it lightly. Compared to the ones that are maybe $900, $800, if you're going for that range, stick in that range. Don't come near this range. These are not going to be the headphones you're looking for. If you're looking for headphones that have extremely amazing sound quality, then this is more of the people who are looking for a nice pair of gaming headphones that will work with everything, that has the features that they need, but don't want to break their budget. And if you're looking for that, then of course click the link below, and you guys should lead to an Amazon page. Now, when I looked at the Amazon page, the price was much lower than the retail price, which is $200. If you guys can find it lower, then I don't know, get it now if you can. And that's about it for the review. Hopefully it was nice and in-depth, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like, subscribe, and do all that jazz. Thank you guys for watching. This is going to be me logging off.